Okay, I'm thinking about creating a whole new series of videos on gun control arguments. The really bad ones that liberals, well, let's say gun grabbers, because a lot of liberals are very pro gun actually. But let's say the gun grabbers, they love to put out these ideas and these ways of getting around that pesky Second Amendment. And in so doing, show they have no civics understanding whatsoever. So we'll start off here with gun control dumb idea number one. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
All right, Matthew Dowd, not a particularly bright individual, but he has here a suggestion for President Biden. He says, tell Senate they have 1 week to pass gun reform, or he will either by order ban the sale of assault rifles for at least 6 months while federal government assesses the problem, or impose a 1-year waiting period on sales of assault guns. Okay, assault guns, wow. And Jonathan Werner, who is obviously a little smarter than Matthew Dowd, comes back in and says, please identify the statutory or constitutional authority which gives Biden the power to do this. And then we have Jeremy Johnson. He's going to step in here for Matthew and say he could do an executive order, then get sued and let the courts decide. I identified something for you. Yeah, well, you identified something stupid. Now, let me explain to you why this won't work. Well, let me go ahead and first explain what he's trying to say here. The idea is that President Biden can issue an executive order, and then the Supreme Court would have to determine whether that executive order is constitutional. And in the meantime, the sales of rifles get banned, and so the BATF and the FBI and the CIA and all those other cronies are out there grabbing people's guns from them and banning the sale of guns and all that. And so we get like a 6-month respite from all of these gun sales. Now, there's only one small problem. An executive order carries no authority. The executive order simply has no jurisdiction over private citizens. So if President Biden wants to issue an executive order banning hand grenades by our soldiers, he can do something like that. If he wants to ban weapons in federal complexes, federal buildings, he could probably do something like that. But again, that's because he has some control over federal operations. An executive order has no authority over the private sector. So here's what would happen. Let's say that you're a gun store owner and you want to sell a gun. But that pesky President Biden has issued this executive order saying, I can't sell this gun. Well, guess what? Sell it anyway. There's nothing that the BATF or the FBI can do. If they come into your store and they say, hey, we want to talk to you about the gun sale, throw them out. What's your probable cause? What probable cause do you have to come in here and even question me about this? Am I suspected of committing a crime? If so, show me the statute or the case law that establishes that behavior as a crime. And the FBI and the BATF can't do that because it's an executive order. It's not a law. Now, suppose they do arrest you. Well, guess what? They'd better hope that sticks, because you can turn around and file charges against the BATF agents for false arrest because they arrested you for a crime that was not a crime at all. So this whole idea somehow that President Biden can simply issue a ban on sales of firearms and make it stick is ludicrous. No federal agency is going to be stupid enough to try to enforce that. It's an executive order. It's not a law. And I know that presidents have issued executive orders all the time to do things. For example, President Trump, he issued an executive order to shift money from military construction towards the wall, right? But he can do that. An executive order, again, does have some jurisdiction over government operations. And so you have the military, you have the wall, that's the border patrol. He can divert money from one to the other. But to say that a president can ban the sale of firearms, are you kidding me? But there's an even bigger issue here, and this is one that's going to affect almost all of these stupid ideas that come about from gun grabbers. The idea is that somehow you can circumvent an amendment by coming up with some clever practice, some clever idea, a method, something devious. That doesn't fly. You just can't do these things. And so we're going to be talking about a lot of these ideas that, well, the Second Amendment doesn't say anything about that. Well, guess what? If the purpose of your brilliant idea is to curtail gun sales, the Second Amendment does have something to say about that, even if it's not explicitly stated. Like my video and subscribe to my channel. And stay tuned for more of these gun grabber ideas.